Hey, it's Kevin from KDW Mixing and Mastering. In this video I'm going to continue on from my previous one with the Dangerous D-Box analog summing. So in the previous video I was comparing a non-summed audio of a few songs compared to the summed version of the few songs, and letting you have a listen to see if you can make a comparison. Now, obviously the Dangerous D-Box is a very clean summing unit, so you may not have heard anything, you may have heard something. I'll leave that up to you to decide whether you did or not. It's not the only thing that this device does, so it has other features like its D-to-A converters, which is good for monitoring, and the monitoring capabilities of it connecting up multiple monitors and headphones, etc. So it's not purely just a summing box, but obviously if you're going to get the Dangerous D-Box, you want it to do the summing and you want to see if there's any reason for it. So in this one, I'm not going to compare with a non-summed version. What I'm going to do this time is I'm doing some samples of two songs and I'm going to sum them differently. Now what I mean by that is I want to see if there's any difference between how you actually output your tracks through the summing device and back in. So in the first song, I am basically going to send, one time I'm going to send all of the tracks out channels 1 and 2. So in this case, the summing is not really summing, it's just actually passing the audio through the Dangerous D-Box through channels 1 and 2 and then back in. So I'm not summing at all. I'm still summing in the DAW digital world out those two channels and then bringing them through the Dangerous D-Box and back out. So this is purely to compare them. Is the summing doing anything, or is it just the point of actually passing the signal through the Dangerous D-Box and back in through your inputs that is making the sound difference? So that I'm going to do that, and then there's going to be another sample where I'm doing the full summing capability type thing, where I've got all of the drums including the kick on channels 1 and 2, I've got the keys on 3 and 4, I've got some miscellaneous stuff like percussion or something like that on 5 and 6, and I've got some vocal stuff on 7 and 8. Now the reason they're all on stereo sort of tracks instead of putting, say, the kick or the vox on mono is because with the songs that I'm using here, all of those channels have their reverb on them. So the vocal track I can't send mono because it includes its effects in it, which are stereo effects. So if I was to send it out mono, I would ruin the whole point of what that song's doing because the effects would be broken. Okay. Then a third sample is going to change that slightly, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the kick out. But again, because all the effects are with the tracks, I'm not sending the kick mono, I'm still sending the kick out stereo. The kick itself will still be down the center, but if it has any room effects or any sort of stuff like that on it, they are stereo. So I'm going to send the kick out 1 and 2. The rest of the drum kit will be out 3 and 4. The keys and the miscellaneous items like percussion will be joined together out 5 and 6, and the vox will still be 7 and 8. So we're going to see if there's any difference between those three setups. How important it is to how you do the summing. Does it have a big impact on not having the kick separate or not having it separate? Or is it just the point of passing it through the Dangerous D-Box, even in just a single stereo channel, that makes any difference? Then on the second track, it's going to be the same setup. Okay, we're going to do one sample where we're sending everything out tracks 1 and 2. We're going to do another one. So the only difference with this is this one has some different instruments. So in this case, we're going to have drums going out 1 and 2. We're going to have some guitars going out 3 and 4, some keys out 5 and 6, and some miscellaneous items like percussion and that out 7 and 8. There's no vocals in this one at all. And then again, the third sample is going to separate the kick out on 1 and 2, the rest of the drums on 3 and 4. The guitars and miscellaneous are going to be joined together on 7 and 8, and the keys are on 5 and 6 this time. So again, 3 versions for you to compare and listen to and see what you think. Here's the samples, and I'll catch you on the video.